Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Science Stream. Thank you for joining us live on Facebook. We hope you continue to stay safe and healthy during this pandemic. We'll be starting our broadcast shortly, so make yourself comfortable, and if you have any questions for our guests, feel free to leave your questions in the comments section. See you in a bit. Hello once again, especially to those who have just joined us. I'm Sean from Penang, Penang's very own Science Discovery Center. Over the course of the past few months, we have seen how most of our activities that we do are now on digital platforms, from contact tracing to preschool education. This is made possible by computer science and programming. Learning to code is no longer restricted to those who are pursuing a degree in computer science or those who are working in the computing industry. Learning to code can help ease your life through automation or even build an app to help others. And everyone can now learn to code, even kids. Coding for kids not only helps improve their mathematics and cognitive skills, but also gives them valuable skills in life and eventually in the workforce. Tonight, Edfron Koh, the Managing Director of Edusteems will share with us about coding lessons in the next normal. Edfron Koh graduated from Federation University in Australia and runs his own tuition center and has worked as a private tutor for 10 years. He's currently focusing on coding education, where his company Edusteems provides coding programs for kids, teachers, and schools. Edfron strongly believes that coding is a basic skill that every student should learn in this digital era. Join me to welcome Edfron to the show.
Hi everyone. Hi Sean. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome to Science Stream. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so the name of your company is Edusteems. Can you tell us more about Edusteem? Why is it spelled that way?
Yes. So my company name is Edusteem. So edu means education, and the STEAM we add on two other words. So actually it's from STEM, STEM, but we add on another E and S, so which stand for science, technology, engineering, English, mathematics, and also social study. So because we believe all this, is the future that we are going to learn more, right?
Okay, so you conduct your classes in English since it is Edusteems and you emphasize on English.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so, what component? How do you focus on social science? Also, what elements of social science do you put in your classes, workshops, or is it a separate class or workshop or on its own?
Yeah, it's separate class, but because right now we are still focusing on coding first. Yeah, and in the future we will add on more lah. So for example, social science. So that is our plan also. Yeah.
So that is your trajectory lah. That's what you
Yes.
you foresee
Our
that this is
vision.
something that's important, and then that's why you put it in there, and this is something that you'll be implementing down the road.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So tonight we'll be conducting some polls to gauge the audience understanding of coding. So audience, what we did 2 episodes back, if you have joined us during that time, don't worry if you get it wrong, as no one, not even us over here, will see how you answer the polls. Okay, so I believe we have 5 polls tonight. We have not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with the first poll. The first poll tonight we have is: can a person make money by having coding skills? Right. So it's not a right or wrong answer. We just want to gauge what you feel. What do you think? All right. So can a person make money by having coding skills? Yes or no? Right. So click your choice below. Okay. So while the audience answers that, Edfron, please explain to us what is coding and why is it even more important to know coding now?
Yeah. So okay. So before we talking about why we need to learn coding, so we need to understand some history first, because you know that if we know history, we can predict future, right? So let's talk about some history of about education. Okay, so this is my slide. Can you see this?
Okay.
Okay. So actually, why STEM education getting popular? So STEM, just now I mentioned already, so which is stand for science, technology, and engineering and maths. So the reason is here. Okay, wait, sorry. Okay, so the reason is the world, okay, our world is improving, is evolving. So as education, okay, we are moving into digital age now, okay, digital era now. So from here, we can see that, okay, this picture, in the past, which is agricultural age, so actually people in the past, they do not go to school. Okay, they learn the farming skill from their parents, okay, or learn other skills from their sifu, we call sifu or master. So, and then many years after that, the first industrial revolution came, which is the steam engine invented in UK, right? And then slowly government found out that they need to prepare their people, their young people with the right knowledge, different skill, different knowledge, so that they can become qualified workforce in the future. They can get a better job, they can live a better life. So this is why the modern school system was invented during that time. So you need to remember that the modern school system, the history is just around 200 years. Okay, so it's invented during that time. So from there, all the children had to go to school for education. And then in 1969, which is here, so you can see the another picture. So this is the revolution, industrial revolution 1.0 and 2.0. And then in 1969, we moved to 3.0, right? So the computer was invented, and we start to have automation using computer and robots, all that thing, and people start to learn computer during that time. So a lot of company, they requires computer skill when hiring worker, so you need to learn computer. I also remember that when I was in primary school, I also learned computer, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, all that. And now actually we are moving into industry 4.0. So this IR 4.0 is originated in 2011 by German government. So which focus on digitalization and promotes the computerized of manufacturing. So that means in the future, we need a lot of workforce that have the skills of, have the suitable skills, right skills. So that's why we need to prepare them. Okay, that's why a lot of school, a lot of country, they are introducing STEM education and also coding in their school. So in my view, different area need different education. So that means we need to prepare our next generation for the future, right? So we are not preparing them for the past. That's why I think that coding is very important, and they need to learn this one. Okay. Yeah.
You mentioned that in 2011 that this thing was envisioned. The Germans started to do this. So now it's 9 years already. Where do you see we are? What stage do you see we are at? Are we? Is it mainstream already? Is this something that is people are really in it, really is part of our daily lives already, or we are still inching into this IR 4.0?
So I can say that in our daily life, actually, we are already in digital life, because we use handphone, we use computer, we use apps every day. So we also now use cashless payment, right? So a lot of things actually already moved to digital, which is the IR 4.0. But our young, our young children, they still they still do not learn the knowledge about the digital. This is what I see lah. Because I was in education, as a tutor, and I teach for 10 years. So what I can see is our government is doing the right thing. For example, in 2017, they introduced coding and also HOTS. HOTS means the high knowledge, okay, the high knowledge, or we call it K. But so this teach student to have they want them to think, not just find the answer. They want them to think why. So I think we still have a long way to go lah, but we are like in the stage 1, something like this. This is my view lah. Yeah.
Right. So maybe we look at how people answered the poll. Okay. So everyone thinks that we can make money. So
Okay.
do you code yourself, Edfron? Do you know how to code yourself?
Yeah, I also code myself. I also learn coding lah, but I'm not a professional one, but also learn basic coding. Yeah.
So maybe you can become a professional coder and then sell off your education business, since everyone thinks that you can really make good money by coding. Okay. So maybe we can have the next poll. Okay. The next poll, before we continue our show, should we make teaching programming in schools compulsory? Yes or no? So just now you mentioned that the ministry has already started this, but probably not every school. Is it compulsory? I think it's not compulsory for every school, right?
Actually, started from this year is compulsory. Yeah. Even have a textbook.
All right.
For coding. Yeah.
Okay. But I don't foresee how this can be enforced in all the schools, because they may not have the facilities ready. They may not have the computers or the tablets and all these things. And do we really have the teachers that can teach ready?
Yeah. So this is the problem we are facing now actually. So the first problem is a lot of school actually they don't have facility. Yeah. You mentioned just now. And the second thing is we don't have enough well-trained teacher in coding also. So but ministry already come out the textbook. We already have the textbook. So I can see that they will learn the knowledge in school, but those students they need to practice, right? So the practical. So that's why they need to maybe they need to buy computer lah, okay, to practice at home. Yeah, that's what my view lah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe we give them a bit more time to actually answer this. Okay. I think you also have some slides to talk further on, because now everyone thinks that they can make money. So what are the occupations that you can venture in once you know coding?
Yeah. So let me share. Okay. So actually, this is the future of work lah. Okay. So actually, there are a lot. I just list out 10. Okay. Actually, there are hundreds. So when the technology is evolving, there are a lot of jobs that are being eliminated. Okay. And some of them actually are no longer exist now. So, but at the same time, a lot of new job will come up. So these are the example lah. So for example, the first one is data analyst and scientist. So AI and machine learning and all that. So all these job maybe it's too difficult for you to understand. So let's see one example. I prepare one example that is already exists now and very easy for you to understand. So which is drone pilot. So if we talk about pilot, people will always think that, oh, pilot is the people, you know, driving the not driving, like flying the aeroplane above the sky, right? But now there is another type of pilot which is using the controller to control the drone to do some tasks. So they don't need to fly to the sky, they just use the controller or use computer, use coding. So for example, filming. You can see in 2009, if you want to film, you know, the scenes from the sky, you still need to hire cameraman, and then, you know, you need to rent a helicopter. So which is very expensive, right? But now you can use a drone, and you can even capture 4K video, no problem, and it's very cheap. Okay, so this is just one example. So in 10 years, the cameraman and, you know, the pilot maybe both lost their job. So this is just for one example. Another example is drone. Actually, drone can do a lot of things. So for example, this one used in agricultural for crop spraying also, and also performance, drone performance. So you can see this. I can play this video. Wait.
How many drones are flying in this video?
Yes.
How many drones are flying in this video?
This one, if I'm not mistaken, is 500.
Okay.
Yeah, 500. So you can see that there are 500 of drones here.
Synchronous.
You cannot just ask the pilot to use the controller, you know, to control all together. So there will be some mistake, right? So they need to code. So by using computer. So this is also one of the tasks that drone can do, and also mapping also. So all these require coding, right? So you can see only one drone can impact a lot of industry and also the way they do business. So can you imagine about other technology impact? So this is my view lah. So in the future, there are a lot of jobs that need coding skills. Yeah.
So like what you mentioned just now, I think what I want to add is like the cameraman. You mentioned the cameraman and the videographer or cameraman lost a job. The pilot, the helicopter pilot lost a job. But I think that is the fear that people have, or industrial revolution 4.0, IR 4.0. I think the message we want to tell people is that you need to upgrade yourself. You need
Yes.
to add value to yourself.
Yes.
So, like for example, the cameraman, if he learns how to fly a drone,
Yes. Correct.
then his skills or as a cameraman, as a videographer is still relevant. Okay.
Yes.
So even if you have somebody who knows how to fly a drone, that person must have the skill, the right angle, how to capture a certain scene and things like that.
Yes.
Also, so I think the important message is we need to continue to change for to always evaluate ourselves and see that there are new things that we learn, and not remain in our comfort zone
Yes.
And that's where you need to worry. Okay?
Yes.
But if we constantly upgrade ourselves, okay? If we use now the digital things, we upgrade ourselves, add more skills and things like that, be relevant, then actually you don't need to worry because
Yes.
you can still find relevant jobs.
Yes. Yes, correct. I agree with you. So we need to practice lifelong learning in this digital age. You can see that I show you the picture, the revolution 1.0 to 4.0. You can see the time is getting shorter and shorter. 1969, we are in 3.0. And then 50 years ago, 50 years later, then we are now in 4.0. So the time frame will be shorter and shorter. So that means you cannot just learn one skill and then use for whole life.
Yeah.
Previously, in the past, the people can, but right now, in the future, cannot. We need to keep learning, keep learning. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see what our audience says about making teaching programming compulsory. 1/3 says no, but majority actually says yes, that we
Yes.
should make it compulsory in schools. But there's still a lot that needs to be overcome.
Yeah.
The schools needs to be equipped. Then only it becomes practical and not theory only. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's have another poll. Okay. The next poll is, which of the following is not a programming language? Okay, so this is to test like if you know already.
Yeah.
A, Cobra. B, Fortran. C, Java. D, Visual. Okay, so don't worry if you get it wrong. No one will know which one you answered. So we want to see if how well our audience knows about programming. Okay, so the honest truth, this we have only mentioned 4 only. The honest truth is we have hundreds of programming languages out there. Why
Yeah.
are there so many programming languages? Is it that it's so bad that you always need to have a new one? What is actually the difference between all of them?
Okay, so let me explain now. So actually the reason why there are a lot of language out there is because people keep creating them, So even if they don't really need to, but they just want to create a new language. So another reason is because some language are much better suited to certain tasks than others. That means different language they can use for different tasks, right? So some programming language are also much easier to learn than others lah. So actually, there are 100, but normally people only learn 1 or 2 language. So you need to choose the most popular or most suitable language for you to learn. So
Which is the
yeah,
popular one?
yeah, which is
Which
a popular
you
one.
recommend
Yeah,
us to pick up,
yes,
and also the reason why?
yeah. So right now, the most popular language, the top 3, I can show you the statistic.
Okay.
So the top 10 lah, but I only mentioned the top 3 lah, is Python. You can see this Python and Java, also JavaScript. So these 3 are the top 3 programming language. So if you want me to recommend which language to learn, I will recommend this top 3 language. Because Python is very famous now because it's very simple. The syntax is simple and is easier to learn now, and also very efficient. So why we need to learn the most popular language is because a lot of people using right? Just like international language. So we learn this and it will be useful for our future career also. Yeah.
And also probably it's easier to learn because there are more resources available, and there are
Yes.
more people that you can refer to. They can
Yes,
assist you
correct.
in the community boards and things like that.
Yes,
They
correct.
will also probably be able to share their scripts, so it makes your life easier to pull together many scripts and come up with your program, your software.
Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
so all right. I'm not sure if we have the results for the the poll just now already. Okay, maybe we can look at the poll results. Okay, so we have half of the people answering visual is not a programming language. 25% chose Fortran and another 25% chose Cobra. So maybe those people who chose Cobra have heard of Python and then thought that Cobra is not a programming language, but Cobra is. So majority got it right. Visual. It should be Visual Basic. Okay. So
Okay.
looks like a lot of people know about Java. That's why they didn't choose.
Yeah, Java is top 3, top 3 the popular language. Yeah.
And Java is also used for mobile apps.
Yeah, Android. Yes.
Okay. And the mobile app companies, I mean, like for example, certain mobile app companies, they actually want to hire Java programmers because they want to make their mobile apps more better and things like that, more functional. Okay. All right. Okay. I think we have another poll. Okay. Is coding easy or difficult? So this is your personal feel, your personal feel. Do you find coding easy or difficult? Okay, so there's no right or wrong answer here. Do you find coding easy or difficult? Right. Okay. So please let us know what you think. So Edfron, what do you think? Is coding easy or difficult? And at what age can one start to learn to code?
Okay, so from my view, coding is very easy if you start to learn at very young age. Just like handphone, if you are a young man, you give him or her a handphone, you no need to teach. They will very fast to learn how to use. But for older, maybe they need somebody to teach them how to use it. So actually coding is easy to learn for me lah. So the young as young as 5 years old, actually they can start to learn coding. So yeah, kindergarten version, they can use a block base to learn coding, not necessarily to learn the text base first. They can start to use the block coding. So yeah, so you can see actually now the young generation, they are alpha generation. That means once they're born, they already every day they see handphone, right? Even my nephew, 3 years old, 2 years old, they can use the handphone, open the YouTube, and then find a cartoon, and then watch.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you forced your son to learn coding already.
Yeah, you can teach. You need to teach them how to learn the coding. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Actually, we have an audience who asked quite a similar question, but then there's a final part there that this one. So you have answered the part where what was a good age to start. So you are saying that as early as possible. So what is the best way to get young children to be interested in coding?
Okay. So yeah, this is a good question. So I will take learn English for example. So if we let 5 years old, okay, we just say that it's kindergarten. So if we want to let all those kindergarten children to learn English, to get their interest, we need to use flashcard normally. The cartoon is very big and colorful, right? We use those. And the storybooks, very colorful, but the words just a simple one, not very long like novel, right? So this is the way we get their interest. So in coding also, if we want to let those young children to get interest to coding, we need to use some interesting like game or cartoon things, to let them to learn coding first. Not straight away, to learn all the words. Yeah, to have some cartoon first. Yeah.
So not command lines immediately lah.
No,
You
no.
need to
Just block page.
use graphical user interface lah.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at the poll before we proceed. Poll results. Oh, 50-50. So half of our audience find it easy, another half find that it is difficult. Okay, but I think you have a solution for our audience tonight. But before we go to that, I think you also have a solution that is very interesting, very cartoony, very graphical. Okay, but before we go to that, let's do the last poll for tonight. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So the last poll for tonight: will learning a programming language become mainstream? Like learning a language. So you mentioned just now English, right? So will it become mainstream, like learning a language such as English, Mandarin, Spanish, da 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 da? Okay, so yes or no. So no right or wrong answer here. Just what do you think? Okay. So all right. So while our audience answers that, tell us, how does one learn to code before this, and how is it different now? How is it last time, and how is it now?
Okay, so in the past, people buy books, normally buy books to learn coding. If they want to learn coding, they need to buy books or learn from teacher or professor.
Coding for dummies.
Yeah. But today, actually, there are a lot of tools online. There are a lot of websites, right, that you can learn coding from there. And they even teach you step by step how to code. And the interface are much more attractive and interesting. So I think people nowadays, if they want to learn coding, they can actually very easy to learn because there are a lot of resources out there. Yeah.
So maybe you can demo the thing that makes it interesting and easy for people to start coding.
Yeah, sure. So I will demonstrate. Okay, wait. Okay, so I will demonstrate to learn coding by using CodeMonkey. So CodeMonkey is a coding program, and we have different language like block-based, Coffeescript, and also Python. So for example, here I will demonstrate to you. So this is monkey. So you take it like it's a computer, okay, or a robot. So a computer or robot, they do not have brain. That means that they cannot think. So we as human, we give the robot or computer instruction, which is code. So we write code here, give the command to monkey, and let the monkey to finish the mission. So here the mission is to take the banana. So we need to use the tools here, which is ruler, to measure. And we get the answer is 15, and then we need to change it to 15. So that means they need to learn how to write the step and 15, and then click the run. So it's very easy and very cute, very interesting for kids to start learn coding. So you can go to, for example, challenge 7. I will jump. I will demonstrate. Okay, jump a little bit. So they will learn the angle also. From here you can see, use the ruler, and then the angle is there, 45 degree. So that means they need to write this answer, turn 45 and step 14. Okay, so step 14 and then run. So this is the code they write, and the result is to finish the mission. So it will be getting harder and harder. So all the basic coding concept they will learn through this CodeMonkey also. So for example, times loop, okay, we call it loop, if else, all those things they will learn here. So for example, this one, they need to know the logic before and after. So for example, to let the turtle come here first, and then monkey second step, right? So the answer will be like this. And this is what we call syntax, like grammar, right? And then run. Okay, and then
you're not teaching the real programming language. You're just getting them to understand how programming works, how what the process is like, how they should frame their command lines and things like that. Is that correct?
No. We are using the real programming language. So this programming language is called Coffeescript, and
Okay.
is similar to JavaScript. So because
Okay.
JavaScript is more complex and difficult, so that we designed this one using Coffeescript, which is more simple, but it's a real programming language.
Okay. So the commands that they are putting is all exactly what it is today.
Yeah, the syntax, the syntax is a real programming one.
Okay.
So that means they are using real, not just a fake one.
So step is actually step. It's not that they just use step because of just a representative of what it should be lah.
Okay, so because they design this, they use step is very more easy for them to understand lah. So you can use move also, because some other they use move to do this.
Okay. So it's still a representation. It's not exactly the code that is being used lah.
Okay, what I can say is they use the CoffeeScript syntax to design this, so we can decide the name that we want to put. Is like function, because function we can decide our own name. We want to put step, we want to put walk or move, we can decide it.
Do you have something a bit more challenging?
Yeah.
So they
I can.
learn about mathematics just now. There's measuring, there's angle. Is there any more challenging ones?
Yeah. So for example, mathematics, they also learn variable here.
Okay.
So yeah, I show you one of the example. So they need to know this is a variable, lor. So we call it unknown number. So they need to do this and represent for times. So that means 4 times. And then this x, the number is represent for x. So x is for step. And also this 72 is represent for the degree. So they need to know how to use variable to assign into here and then run. So that means when you type step x, the computer know that x is 10. So the 10 number will assign into here, like this. So this is more advanced lah. So they will learn mathematic concept and also loops. Okay, they also learn loops here. So this is what we call for loops. So they need to write this, and this is a syntax they need to know. And B stands for banana. So you can change to C also if you want. So if you change C, then here need to change to C. So this is for loops. Okay, so they will learn index also. Okay, so what they can do after they complete this module, or we call this program lah. So they can create their own mini games. So I can show you how to create the mini games. Okay, so for example, I will use this one. Okay, so now after they learn the coding adventure, they learn all the basic coding concept, we call syntax. Okay, all the functions, if else, all those things. So now they need to create a mini game like this using our CodeMonkey platform. So this code is used to control the keyboard. So here say that is if key equal to keyboard left, that means step one. Step one means move to the left. This one move to the right, and then this one is jump. So we can test these 3 codes, and then I press my keyboard like this. So now they can add on a lot of things. Okay, for example, banana. Okay, so if we let the monkey eat the banana, but the banana didn't disappear, right? So we want to make it disappear. So how? We need to teach them how to write the code. So for example, like this, and then destroy.
So this
Right?
is the application part already, like after they've learned all the
Yeah,
theories.
so they can create their own games. Yeah,
Okay.
like this. So they can even, make it bigger. Yeah, so it depends on the children creativity. They can do a lot of things right here after they learn the basic of coding.
So since it has elements of maths and all those things, do you actually mix, because you run a tuition center as well, do you actually mix the different components together, like for your maths class, you also get them to do this part of this coding, a few of these levels that are relevant, or uh, you do it vice versa?
No, we separate. We separate.
Separate
So
lah. So
yeah,
if you want, you have to take both of this
yeah,
separate lah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Right. Let's look at the answers to the poll just now. What do they think if it will become mainstream? Okay. So looks like you are in the right industry. Everyone will be learning to code after this because they
Yeah.
find that it's going to be mainstream. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. If we think that it's going to become mainstream, but we heard that, of all those challenges earlier on at the schools, we don't have good teachers, you don't have the facilities. So can someone without a computer, be it a desktop, laptop, tablet, smartphone, would they be able to learn coding without all this?
Okay, so I would say yes, because I see there are some apps, that you can use handphone or tablet to learn coding also.
But how if they
So
don't have that also? They don't have a smartphone.
okay, if you even you don't have smartphone, I would say you can buy books, but
Okay.
it's very difficult because
No practical.
yeah, you need practical. It's like swimming, if you read how the theory of swimming, how to swim, if I push you into the river or water, you will die also, right? Because you didn't practice. So coding, you need to practice, just like English, Mandarin. You learn Mandarin, you learn English, you learn Malay. You need to speak, you need to write. If you didn't practice, you don't know how to use. Yeah, so that's a problem.
Okay. We have a question from our audience. Okay. What is the youngest age that children can start learning Code Monkey? How would you then transition them from Code Monkey to a formal programming language?
Okay. So the youngest age that Code Monkey can provide them to learn is 5 years old to 6 years old, as young as 5 years old lah. So we have block based. Can I show? Can
Yeah,
I?
sure.
Yeah. Can I? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have this kindergarten version, and for those young children, we recommend them to use block based. So like this.
Oh, so no longer a monkey, now a beaver.
Yeah, now it's a beaver. Okay, so I go to challenge 1. So for those young children, we teach them how to code and train their logical thinking, or we call it computational thinking. So for example, they need to know what is this meaning. So they need to know how to drag. So when play, that means when you click this play button, I will drop one lock here. So they need to know the sequence, the correct sequence, like this. Okay, so this is the easiest one. So let's see the next challenge. So I jump to challenge 4. So for example, challenge 4, so you need to move left. So the children need to know, okay, right now I want beaver to move left twice. That means 2 times. So need to drag 2, okay, like this, and then drop. Okay, so the sequence must be correct. So we are not teaching them how to write the code, but we train their logical thinking and computational thinking. Okay, like this. So this is the kindergarten version lah.
Oh, this one is for kindergarten.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it could be a bit confusing. Just now the monkey is okay because the monkey is facing the same direction as us. But now the beaver is facing us instead. So when you say left and right, does it mean your left or the beaver's left? That kind of thing. So what we have shown is actually our left. But if you mention that it's for kindergarten, then I guess it makes sense lah, because they may not be able to
see the arrow lah. I will say that you need to see the arrow. So the arrow here, like this. So this is a kindergarten version, and just now he mentioned how to move them to formal programming, right? So as you see, if they finish the coding adventure and they learn how to create the games, so they can create something like this. I show you my creation to let you understand the code. So yeah, Okay, so this is one of the mini games that I created using this code monkey. So I let you see the code, the source code behind. So this is the code.
So they can actually see also, like they can opt to see and actually learn line by line, command by command, what does what lah.
Yeah, so I would say that this is the formal programming that they start to learn since young age lah. So they can create this Mario game like this. Yeah, and then slowly they learn more and more harder. Yeah.
Actually, they're really very fortunate. Now, I started learning when I was in primary school, at school. I was fortunate that my primary school has a computer lab, and then they do offer computer lessons. So I remember learning basic. So then it's command line. There's no graphical user interface.
Yeah. So actually nowadays, those kids, I think they have a lot of good tools for them to learn. Just that they need to have the willingness or the eagerness to learn.
The curiosity, I think.
The curiosity, yeah.
Important. Because for me, I don't know, is it because I learned through command lines? Then even after that, when they have graphical user interface, I was using for Python. They had a graphical user interface for our robot. So I could just drag and drop and then program the robot. But still, maybe knowing this is not actually how it works. There are command lines and things like that. I actually will look into the Python code and actually tweak as well. And of course, you are able to do more things by tweaking and things like that. And sometimes it's very heavy. The code is very heavy because they just import the whole thing in. So that's where I know where it's not necessary, and I remove the code from there. But I don't know, is it because of me learning when I was young that I tend to be that, or is it because I'm curious? That's why I go to see behind the scenes. But this is definitely not such. It flattens the steepness, flattens the steepness of people having to learn coding, especially during a young age. I suppose even preschool can do this already.
Wow, so nice.
I
Preschool.
mean, I will foresee like I mean doing this because nowadays kids are very smart already. They are
Yeah,
exposed
yeah,
to
yeah.
so they can understand movement, distance, and those things at a younger age, and they look at the smartphones, digital devices a lot. So
Yeah.
they actually, at a younger age, they really understand uh, spatial awareness and all those things as well. If let's say it's 3D and all that.
Mm. Yeah,
Okay.
actually, human brain is have huge potential. So
Mm.
if they learn as young as possible, actually they can catch up very fast.
Mm.
This is what I believe lah.
But okay, so uh, coming to that, what would you advise for someone who wishes to start learning to code, or those who want to upgrade their programming skills? So we always hear young, 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 young. How about the old?
Yeah.
Is it too late for those who are older to actually learn coding? What would your advice be?
I would say that my advice is very simple. Nike slogan: just do it. If you want to learn, you just learn it. Because in this digital world, the most important thing is self-learning. This is my view lah. Because you can find a lot of knowledge through internet. So the main thing is just now you say the curiosity, right? Or the self-learning. So don't just wait for school or teacher to teach you. Don't wait. You should responsible for your own learning and future. So I can say that because of internet, we can learn the knowledge from the most professional teacher out there, right? Maybe overseas. Before that, in the past, we cannot do that. We can't imagine, right?
We don't
The
even know it doesn't exist.
Yeah, the cost must be very high. But right now, you just use your hand, then type, search on Google, and then you can get the knowledge you want. So I think the self-learning is very important. So no matter what age you are, you should practice self-learning and lifelong learning and learn everything about digital in this world because it's very important.
So I agree with you. This is something that I tell my team and also my interns as well. Um, if you wait for somebody to actually teach you something,
Yeah.
then you will only learn that that thing that that person teaches you. But if you
Mm.
have your own self motivation to actually learn, you can actually learn many more things. So don't restrict yourself to waiting for somebody to actually teach you. Uh, be a self starter and actually go and find out about
Yeah.
those things. Be
This
curious.
habit is needs some time to change lah because of our school system lah. I think lah because of our school system. We go to school and then
Yes.
we go into classroom and then we wait for teacher to teach the topic today. This is the school system because in the past we don't have a lot of resources to get the knowledge. So the way we get the knowledge is to go to school and then to learn from teacher. But right now everything is different. So you can get a lot of knowledge, not necessary to depend on teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's the first barrier that we need to break.
Yes, that's the
So
first barrier.
then you understand that you shouldn't be spoon fed, you shouldn't be served on a silver platter. Then that's where you have that drive to actually get the
Yes.
information you want. Okay.
Yes.
We have one more question. Maybe we go look at this question and then we can close up already. So Steven says, good sharing. Thanks. Correct me if I'm wrong. You mentioned using JavaScript. JavaScript is kind of many years ago. Visual Basic also teaches on how to use arithmetic functions, variables, values, and tasks, etc. What's your thought on both JavaScript and Visual Basic?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I know that JavaScript is a long time ago, but it's still now the top three, famous language. So from my view, no matter you okay, what language you want to learn depends on your users. So what you want to use it for. So for example, a lot of people learn Python today is because Python is very popular. But what they can do by using Python, they need to understand that. So I won't say that the difference between them lah. I will say that what is your main purpose? You need to know the main purpose and then you choose the language that you want to learn. So, but if you want me to recommend you, I will recommend the top three language because it's very popular. That's my view lah. I choose the most popular language to learn lah. Yeah, like that.
Right. So it looks like we need to wrap things up. I understand you have a promo you would like to share with our audience.
Yeah. So we will give out free access to all those audience right now. So you can just click the link, and yeah, you can you can scan the QR code and register. So we will give out free hour-long version coding courses. Yeah. So
Okay.
just scan the QR code.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Edfron, for spending your time with us for the past hour. Thank you for your free class. We thank you for your sharing and hope you stay safe and healthy always.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean, also for having the time. Yeah. Thank you.